I doubt if there's any actor in the entire world, with all due respects to Mr. De Niro, when they haven't gone ahead and done a film and it hasn't turned out to be, you know, the kind of film that they believed it would be, or it has been so incredibly bad that it's just kind of forgotten in their vision. Sometimes we do films because we believe in the person who's going to make it. Sometimes it's a gesture. Sometimes it's your own belief going wrong. We all make mistakes. And if they were mistakes, fine. But I will not deride any film that I have done. I will stay with every film that I have made, and I will say that I had a great time making them, irrespective of what happened at the box office.
That failure is a part of every human being's life. To think that failure is never ever going to come to you is the first mistake. It is bound to come some point in time. Even if you're riding a huge wave of success, I think it's important that at the back of your mind, you should be wary that tomorrow everything can go wrong. And whenever I think like this, I immediately think, okay, suppose I was to lose everything. What is the bottom line that would keep me comfortable? So I go back to where I was born and how I was brought home in a tonga, wrapped in a gudri, and I say, you know, the worst is that things can't go worse than that. I'll sleep on the floor, I'll sleep on the pavement. So you look at the bottom line.
Right. And that makes you feel it's not that.
And I think that gives you
strength.
You feel that if you're prepared for the worst, you know, a lot of people can say, look, you know, I can't do without a house with 10 bedrooms, or I need 2 cars and I need a phone, and everyone has different priorities. But I think that what I feel is that I think about the bottom line, and when it isn't too difficult to cope with, I feel very satisfied. From there on, you say, okay, this is where I am. I have to move forward from here. This is the worst scenario. Now I must move forward. So every day you keep pegging away, digging at something, poking at something. Right. And even if it's a centimeter that you move forward, at least you move forward. I'm always reminded of an incident of my father's. We used to live in Delhi at Willingdon Crescent, which is near Teen Murti House, where Panditji used to stay. And at that time, the diplomatic enclave, which is now very, very habitated, was just wilderness and wild jungle. And he used to go for his morning walk in that region. And he used to leave at 3, 4 in the morning and come back at 5, 6. And he developed a taste for looking at rocks on the road and finding some kind of an image or a figure in it. And he would bring it home, and with just a stroke of a paintbrush, you know, bring out that image, and you know, or just leave the stone like that and say, look, this looks like a bird, or this looks like a human. And he developed this thing. One day he came back from his walk and he woke me up, as he normally would, at 6 in the morning, and say, can you just help me? I've got something which I cannot lift, so help me bring it in. So I went to the gate, and there was a huge boulder about this size. And I said, look, you can't possibly think that I can move this. So we called about 10, 20 people, and they pushed this huge boulder and brought it into our veranda where he wanted it to be put. That done, I asked him, look, this is fine, but how did this come up to the gate? So he said, you know, I went for my walk, I saw this huge rock, I saw this shape in it, and I liked it, I wanted to move it. So every day I go, I move it 1 inch and I come back. In 3 months, it's landed up at the gate. So really, it's a great example that, you know, if you just keep pushing something every day, it may look small, but I think the important thing is that you're moving forward. And there is some amount of satisfaction that you've done something which is somewhere giving you some satisfaction, and that eventually you will bring that huge boulder to its destiny.
For 45 years, he has reflected and shaped society. When he got angry, the nation got angry. When he got injured, the nation came to a standstill. And now, when the common man of the nation has taken to the streets with Anna, he made Satyagrah.
What you said was more an instigation by the people who write films. And if credit has to be given to the mood of the country at the moment and how it is reflected in cinema, you will have to credit the writers of the time. So if you felt that there was a moment in a film which talked about anger, which talked about going against the system, wanting to fight alone, then Salim Javed, who wrote the script of Zanjeer at that point of time, will have to be credited because they were the ones that thought about it. And many a times this question is posed to me, but I'm merely another actor who was just happened to be lucky enough to get that role.
You're not merely anything, Mr. Bachchan.
Yeah, right now I am.
I keep quoting my father all the time, and I'm sure I've done this millions of times. One of the first things he taught me was, man ka ho to acha, na ho to zyada acha. If things happen according to how you wish, that's good. But if they don't, that's even better. And I could never understand that. And when I asked him, he said, if they're not happening according to your wish, they're happening according to the wish of some divine force. And that divine force will never think ill about you. So you have to respect that as being better. So if things worked, I said, fine. If they didn't, I felt that there was some kind of divine force or divinity that didn't want me to do that, and perhaps wait for another opportunity. The other thing he told me was, when I was struggling a lot in those times, I said, bada sangharsh hai jeevan mein. So he said, jab tak jeevan hai, tab tak sangharsh hai. I used to tell him, life is a struggle. And he used to say, so long as there is life, there is going to be struggle. I think if we accept this factor, that your life is never going to be easy, something or the other is going to happen. So rather than sit in some kind of despondency on that and be aware that tomorrow is another challenge, is another day, which could turn out to be profitable, which may not, but eventually there will be another day when you can start trying all over again.
कई बार बाबूजी से पूछता था कि मेहनत करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए। उन्होंने कहा कि काम करना चाहिए और समय से काम करना चाहिए। एक संस्कृत का श्लोक उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि सूर्योदय चास्तमय चशाइनम जहाति लक्ष्मी रवि चक्रवर्ती नम। माने ये कि सूर्य उदय होने से लेकर के और अस्त होने तक जो इंसान सोता है, वो चाहे चक्रवर्ती राजा भी क्यों ना हो, उसकी धनराशि जो है वो गायब हो जाती है। हनुमान जी की एक कथा है। हनुमान जी ने कहा था कि ईश्वर से कि हमको शिक्षा प्राप्त करनी है, ज्ञान प्राप्त करना है, क्या किया जाए, किसके पास जाए। उनसे बताया गया कि आप सूर्य के पास जाइए। सूर्य देवता जो है वो ज्ञान का भंडार है, उनके पास आप जाएंगे तो वो आपको ज्ञान दे सकेंगे। तो हनुमान जी गए सूर्य देवता के पास। सूर्य देवता ने कहा, भैया मैं तो चलायमान हूं, चलता रहता हूं, कैसे तुमको शिक्षा दूंगा मैं। तो हनुमान जी ने कहा कि आप ज्ञान मुझे देते जाइए और चलते रहिए, मैं आपके सामने उल्टा होकर के चलूंगा। तो आप चलते रहेंगे, मैं आपके सामने उल्टा होकर के चलता रहूंगा और ज्ञान प्राप्त हो जाएगा मुझे। कहने का तात्पर्य यह है कि सूर्य के आगे आपको चलना पड़ेगा, तभी जाकर के आपको ज्ञान प्राप्त होगा, तभी आपका संघर्ष जो है वो सफल